of money. Your supply capped. And there's his army.
And I'm going to get tore apart by these force fields.
Yep.
There's nothing I can do at this point. See, this is what pisses me off about Protoss. These fucking force fields. Sorry.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what's happening. He has 6-gated you. Kept probes at 38 and made a bunch of units and just attacked. So we're gonna tap out and we're gonna get into another game. And we're gonna talk a little bit about the importance of the roach. You said that you don't like roaches. You said it's just not your style. Let me ask him. But here's the deal. 6-gate is this really precarious, scary build that we have to respect. We have to understand that it's out there, and we have to understand why it works and how to beat it. So what do you know about 6-gate?
I actually don't. I've never really seen it before too much.
Okay. It's not super uncommon. You're gonna see it more as you sort of climb the ranks, and in the diamond levels, I'm surprised you haven't seen a lot of it. The way it works is he makes 2 bases of saturation worth of probes. He makes 6 gateways, and he spends 100% of his money on units. And then he goes and he attacks you. And it is really, really overwhelming and scary, as you saw. He has a lot of force field, he has a lot of stuff, and you just die. So how in the world can we possibly beat that?
It's a very good question. Maybe a roachling composition?
Well, what does he give up if he's investing all of his money in gateway units and not building any probes and not teching? What is he giving up?
Economy. I could.
Well, importantly, he's actually giving up detection. That's the big thing. He will not have Robotech. He will not have an observer. Now, it's not that hard to scout a 6-gate. If he has as many units as he had when you saw him with your lings, you need to be like, ooh, this might be 6-gate. And you need to say to yourself, I need roaches and I need burrow. As long as you have burrow, you are actually immune to any sort of aggression until he has detection. He could not kill you with just the least bit of micro. And you said that you do not like roaches, and I respect that. And you said that you prefer Ling Hydra, and I respect that. But there is a reason that at the highest level everybody gets roaches at some point. And it's because it is the safest way to open in the face of builds like this. So I'm not going to tell you that you have to go roaches every game, but I am going to tell you, if you read this sort of 6-gate aggression, that you need to add roaches and you have to get burrow. And the way this is going to work is you'll go and you'll engage, and he'll cast 1,000,000 force fields, and then you'll burrow. And then he can't hit you at all. And then when the force field expires...
But in the position he was in, though, he still could have raped my my natural.
He had a great position, but that's not something that he earned. That's something that you gave him. All right? You attacked from off creep from behind his army as he was moving into your third. What do you expect? He had a much better position than you. And he had that position because you didn't see his army adequately. You weren't scouting actively enough. You didn't even know what he was doing. And you just gave him that position. That's like saying, do you ever watch mixed martial arts?
A little bit, yeah.
So you're familiar with UFC and stuff like that?
Yes.
That's like me saying to you, okay, let's fight. I'm going to give you my back.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you?
Sure.
What are you going to do?
What do you mean?
You're going to choke me.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Exactly. You don't. When you're in a fight with somebody, you don't give him your back. Right?
Okay, sure.
And the reason for that is because that's the position where you're most vulnerable. You cannot defend if you're getting smashed in the ass. You just can't. It sucks, Likewise, if he's going to push into your natural, and he's like, you saw the position he had. He easily force fields your whole army out, and he's just like, oh, well. The reason he had that position is because you gave it to him. You have to position your army between him and your base. Duh. Come on, this is strategy game 101. We can't let that happen. So you have to be patient, you have to be knowledgeable, you have to be active. and you have to punish him when he gets into bad positions. Now, we didn't really get to that point, so this game we're going to scout better. If he does something like that, we're going to react to it appropriately with burrow and roaches. And when he commits his army like that, burrow, then we pop up, we kill all his sentries, and we type LOL about 15 times as he loses because he doesn't have any more sentries.
Okay.
All right. I'm actually really curious about what level this guy is.
Well, he's 1,000 masters with not that many games played, and got a huge bonus pool. So.
All right, so he could be really good.
Yeah.
But he's 6K.
Yeah, he's got a
so
he's got a 1,400.
I don't think he's that good.
Okay.
All right.
I don't really care how good he is. I just want to beat him. To be honest with you.
Well, I just want to see you win. To be honest with you.
I hate this map too, positioning wise.
You
for
should
sure.
not hate this map. This is a great map for you. The middle can be precarious, absolutely, but you have huge opportunities for flanking and surrounds. This is a fantastic position because of all the paths through the map. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 ways for you to cross into the center. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 ways for you to enter his natural. You didn't see that coming, and there was lots of ways to defend that.
Well, I mean, I didn't have a way at the current point in time. I mean, the last game I didn't have a way to defend it. I don't mean that I can't defend it.
No, I mean, technically you saw his army, but to say that you saw that attack coming, I would say is a little bit of a stretch. Now, one thing that we did not do at all last game was get any sort of vision of his base. And let me talk a little bit more about 6 Gate, just because you said you're not really familiar with the build. If you play Roach Burrow, that's auto win against 6 Gate every single time. It is a hard counter because it makes your roaches immune to damage. It allows you to just get more and more stuff, and then eventually you absolutely overwhelm him because he's not going to have detection for a really long time. So you have to understand the effectiveness and the power of Roach Burrow.
Okay.
I do not mind this +1 speedling opening. I don't mind it at all. It can be really good. But you saw in the last game that good force field and a couple sentries and a couple zealots completely shuts it down. So just be aware of that also. And here you've stolen his gas. Which is another thing that I do not mind. But what do you think is going to happen now that you've stolen this gas?
It's going to force them to do some kind of 4-gate push, maybe, or a 3-gate expand with less sentries.
Yeah, you're absolutely provoking a 4-gate. So just be wary of that. He could turn around and 4-gate you in a heartbeat, and it would be a good move. And you actually have vision of his nexus with your extractor, right?
Right.
And you can see whether or not it's producing units, correct?
It's not right now.
Well, it is right now.
I
See
can't.
the little lights on the front lighting up?
I can't. I'm colorblind, man. I can't see little shit like that.
Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. There are lights on the front of the Nexus that light up. If you could distinguish that, that would be important. So back at home, he's kind of annoying you, keeping you from expanding. And there you get the hatchery down, which is good. It is very important that hatchery goes down on time, because if he is 4-gating, it is going to be very difficult for you to defend
without
creep.
I forgot my overload.
And there you see a sentry. So he might just try to play normally without 2 gas, which is I'm interested to see how this turns out, because he's going to have less sentries.
When you go for this just speedling play early without the roaches, when do you put your guys back on gas?
I take them off after 100, and I put them back on when my second queen spawns.
And I forgot my oh my god, I'm forgetting a lot of shit this game.
It's okay. It can be difficult to think clearly when you're getting yelled at.
I prefer getting yelled at, actually. Maybe a military thing, but
it's a pretty early roach swarm, which I am also okay with. I don't want you to sell out making roaches when you don't need them, though. I want you to just continue to roam for the time being. You do have this overlord kind of near the back of his base. That's kind of important. You are going to want to kind of check on him, see what's up. What do you see?
See robotics facility coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So roaches may not be the best idea if he goes immortals, right?
Right. If he goes for some sort of immortal gateway army, then your Hydraling could actually be like fantastic, to be completely frank. It might be exactly what you need. If he goes 3-gate Robo and then expands, oftentimes I like to go Muta, because it is going to be difficult for him to get enough stalkers while still investing all this gas in tech. That is not me telling you to go Muta. That is me saying that when you see an early robotics, Muta can work. So if it's not a style that you like, then don't even consider it.
I prefer Muta over everything, actually. I just never find a good situation to use it.
Okay, so when you see Robo before expand, that's one of those times when Muta can work. If you choose to go Muta, just recognize that you need to be mining on lots of gases, and you're going to be relying on spine crawlers and zerglings to not die.
Okay.
Going Muta in ZvP is actually something that you kind of seldom do. And you would probably want to start your Spire before you start all those spines.
My bad. Still good on gas, though.
Yep,
so.
still good on gas. And you actually want to try to hold off on making these units for as long as you possibly can, these lings.
Well, the reason I'm making a few here is because I don't feel comfortable, because he's got a decent sized army when I scouted a while ago, and I don't have anything to defend it with.
So use the lings. Instead of asking yourself how can I defend, ask yourself how can I keep him in his base. You can actively defend by attacking.
Okay, so now he's coming at me.
So what? Go run right past him. He'll turn around, guaranteed. Make it a point to run past his army. Make him see those lings. And guess what he's doing?
Turning around.
Damn straight he is. Right into his mineral line. Right into his the natural mineral line. Alright, so there's his army. And his army did exactly what you wanted it to do. Isn't that awesome?
Actually worked out better. I don't see the stuff I don't think about, though, in game. That's something that you would have had to tell me, and even if I know that I can do that, I still forget shit like that.
Okay, that's fine. So your Spire is finishing. You should be able to make 10 mutas right now. And those lings are going to continue to be a prevalent force on the battlefield. Anytime he leaves, you're going to say, no sir, you're staying right here. And you don't do that by engaging him directly. You do that by hitting his natural, by hitting his main, by going somewhere where his army is not. Now I want to be very clear about why Muta works in this situation. Muta works because he is not in a position to engage you directly. Those mutas have to be in his base now. You cannot waste any time. You cannot miss any overlords. You have to be super aggressive with these mutas. You've made a heavy investment here. So right into the back of his natural, you're just going to scoot and shoot with hold position, kill as many probes as you can. And there's a huge distance between his natural and his main, so you can do a lot of damage with these mutas. Alright, now there's his army, so you run right to the main. Don't go backwards. You go right over that, right into his main. You see 2 colossi, and you're like, LOL, this is the best possible situation ever for me. Right into the main. You're making drones right now, not zerglings.